These are two dudes who bring nothing but fireworks to what it is that they do, and they're fighting in the apex. So it's like, what a waste, right? But we got to have the fight either way, man. Money Moicano, he's coming off of that massive submission victory over Brad Riddell, which, like, bro, let's be honest, man, hasn't aged well because Brad Riddell kind of seemed like he fell off as of late, but you can't knock him. And Drew Dober is a really interesting not prospect, but matchup, I guess I should say, because this dude has bombs in his hands, and we've seen Moicano get beat up before, particularly against somebody smaller than him, kind of. RDA, right? Rafael Dos Anjos, our favorite champion. Shout out, you know what I mean? What do you like about this fight right here in terms of value for the money line, man? Minus 150 Moicano, plus 125 Drew Dober. Are you seeing any juice on the underdog?
I am seeing juice on the underdog, Derek, especially because of the chin that Drew Dober presents. If he's able to avoid the counter strikes, and that's why I really like Moicano right here for this one. He has some wild counter strikes, and he can land them with precision. But if Drew Dober is able to avoid that, stick to his game where he's going to be putting the pressure on, going to try to get this fight maybe not into the ground, but just controlled up against the fence. If Drew Dober can win this control thing, man, he's gonna be looking good, and I do see a lot of juice for him, especially if the shots of Moicano are just not really tagging Drew Dober. Once you get Drew Dober running and going, man, he is a very confident fighter, and I like him. He just needs to find his groove, get going. But Derek, my big thing right here, man, Moicano, every now and then, he doesn't seem to fight to that exact level. Do you think he's going to be bringing it? Is there enough hype behind this fight in the Apex to get Money Moicano out there? Or are we going to see just a performance from an quote-unquote older fighter?
I think that if you look at the strength of schedule Moicano has fought, Drew Dober, while it doesn't have the biggest name, I don't think that skill-wise he matches up with some of the dudes that Moicano has just fought, right? Brad Riddell, he has the wrestling and he has the striking, but got beat up there. Rafael Dos Anjos, Alexander Hernandez, Jai Herbert, Rafael Fiziev, Damir Hadzovic, Korean Zombie, Jose Aldo. Bro, like, I mean, I just literally went through a hit list right there. Drew Dober, what do we like about him? He's going to move forward. I think he's going to start fighting a little more patient because he's found success that way, but he's going to move forward and he's going to look for the big shot. Moicano, on the other hand, I see him counter-striking, and I see him looking for taking the back and choking him out. And I think that if you look at Drew Dober, who is kind of one of those guys, I mean, he's got a neck, but uber jacked guy, right? It's going to be hard to submit him. I don't think it's going to be easy. What are the odds? Because plus 175 is the submission prop, and the bookies are actually liking the odds of him getting that done by submission. Like, what do you think is the probability he can actually get that against Dober? Do you think it's realistic?
I don't, Derek. I don't think it at all. But, I mean, yeah, Drew Dober is hard to finish, especially on striking and then in the ground game. Like you said, he's got a thick neck. He's got massive traps that are blocking the arms from coming under the chin. This guy's jacked. Moicano has the chops to do it. Don't get me wrong. So I think that's why it's at plus 175. I personally would be a little higher, man, like plus 250, plus 300, somewhere around there, because I give Drew Dober a lot of credit in that fact.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I just think it's going to be an interesting matchup because I do think Dober could also overwhelm Moicano with power. Right, we've seen Moicano kind of get knocked around the cage from time to time. And when you start losing that momentum, things get really interesting. So I think the value play, the easy play is Renato Moicano smash this money line right here at minus 150, because I think the fight in general, while it is more or less close, I think Moicano just has more tools overall. The big X factor, though, it's just that power. That's the big thing you got to worry about from a Drew Dober. Other thing, too, and this was just in the back of my mind after watching the RDA fight again. RDA is a very particular fighter with a very particular skill set that can mitigate a lot of people's strengths. But if Drew Dober needs to, can he secure the takedown that mitigates the jiu-jitsu of Moicano the way that RDA did?
The caveat you put in there is where it gets tricky, Derek. Can Drew Dober take him down and mitigate that ground game? I don't really think so, especially with the length that Moicano's going to be presenting. Moicano's tricky in there, man.
Yeah. 5'11", 72-inch reach, taller and longer. I'm rocking with Renato Moicano right here. Again, not a lot of juice on these props right here, folks, but I do like that money line, minus 150. AJ, are you in the consensus? Do you like any of these props?
No, I'm with you across the board, Derek. If I had to choose one, I would actually probably go that plus 350 decision, just because I respect the finishing inability or ability not to be finished by Drew Dober. But I'm with you. I like the prop, the money line right off the bat.
And I got one better for you guys. If you guys are a little unsure and you wanted to, if you're a little unsure and you want to make some money and you think that this is a fight where Moicano can go ahead and get a decision, rock the over. 1.5 rounds, minus 105 for the over. Come on, that's even money. You throw in a little bit of money, you're gonna make your money back right there. So we're rocking with Renato Moicano, Money Moicano for the co-main event.